Overlord K here, bringing some more pool action from EVO 2019. This next matchup, we have Chanel versus Rangchu. In loser side, round 3, this is the quarterfinals. Both of these players have already lost one game to get to the losers finals. Chanel lost to Take, and he beat Princess Ling to get to this spot right now, while Rangchu lost to Shin Palo. And so now Chanel is pulling out his Alisa, while Rangchu is starting off with Katarina. I would say overall that Alisa has a slight advantage. Katarina stays a lot more mid-heavy. Her lows are a little weak, but both of them have long-range lows. So I would expect to see a lot of pokes, and we're already seeing a lot of just little toe kicks here and there. We get a nice little counter hit from Alisa. Chanel's pulling out the chainsaws. Chainsaws are a very wicked effective strategy, and we were already able to steal round 1 through the use of just some basic low pokes and then into chainsaws. And immediately Chanel goes back into chainsaw pressure to see how Rangchu does, and with a nice little mid, we were able to take it all the way to the wall for a nice 45% damage combo. Oh, I don't know what that was. That had to be a misinput from Chanel. As Rangchu kind of pushes it a little bit further, Chanel is able to bring it back to the neutral, back to this kind of mid-game. We're trying to work on a couple stances. A nice sidestep, but unable to convert anything off of it. He goes for a mix-up low, but Rangchu is able to block it and punish it respectively. Ooh, another beautiful sidestep and into chainsaws from Chanel. He decides to actually put them away rather than keep them there. Chainsaws are much more effective when your opponent back is against the wall, as you are able to use a lot more of those positive frames and setups, rather than kind of mid-game where you're able to sidestep a whole lot more and just kind of evade a lot of the big tactics. Both players are still just very defensive. A nice sidewalk, but was actually punished because Rangchu finished out this string. Going back to the neutral, just looking for anything to start a launch. A launch from either side will end the match. And blocked rage drive and immediate follow-up. I like with that follow-up fly, but unable to get a payoff from it. Ooh! And Rangchu just staying very tight, consistent fundamental Tekken, is able to just get that forward medium poke to score the round. We're at round point for Rangchu. Oh, another sidestep! Those have paid off very well overall with Chanel so far. Going back to pokes, a nice little whiff punish, doesn't get too much out of it, just Alisa's 1-1 off of that missed launcher. Back to the poke game, Rangchu again is looking for those launchers, and just with a nice whiff punish with that standing right kick, finishes up the round and is now round point for each opponent. Again, we're balancing very easy. Let's see if Chanel wants to start off with a sidestep and, immediately pull out those chainsaws, unable to really get any pressure, as Rangchu was able to back off and then just get a mid to get the chainsaws away. And we go back to this very methodical play style that both players are doing. Both players we've got a huge launch coming out from Chanel, and this should close out the round. A beautiful launcher. Most of the time it was actually Rangchu who was just trying to throw out Katarina's launcher, and Chanel was playing very basic, very fundamental Tekken, getting pokes in here and there, but he just decided to let it rip there, and it paid off and stole game 1. Rangchu looks like he went to character select. If you go to character select, you can't pick the stage, and he goes back to what he's most famous for of this Panda. So Panda versus Alisa, this is a fairly interesting kind of matchup. Panda has a lot of just awkward hitboxes and just a very unorthodox play, but while Rangchu's play style very early on with his rise, there was a lot of unfamiliarity, but now that more top players have seen what Panda can do, let's see if Chanel did his homework and is able to approach this more unorthodox character. Immediately Rangchu goes into kind of a crawl stance, and Chanel is using a lot of those sidesteps immediately, but in this Howard state, the walls are much closer than the previous round, and as we said even in round 1, those chainsaws are so effective if your opponent's back to the wall, as you're able to keep up with that positive frame punishers, and that's what Chanel is able to show to us, rather than me just trying to explain some theory. Oh my god, look at that! Sidestep into launcher. Let's see if he opts to go to chainsaws again. He does. Ooh, good block through Rangchu, and just what the wall standing for is able to get it. But all those wall splats. Chanel is just applying so much pressure to Rangchu that this is just extremely one-sided. Not only it probably is. Oh, a sidestep into launch. Chanel is just stealing this round, and because the walls are so close, he's getting huge payoffs for every minor mistake. Alisa has one of the better quick, safe kind of wall splash moves, and is able just to put so much pressure on this big hitbox character that on the wall, just Panda takes so much damage. Now with Chanel's back to the wall, Rangchu's starting to get some pressure going, but Chanel with 2 beautiful sidesteps in a row is unable to get out of the wall. A nice low, and just closes out with a mid. Very one-sided. Congratulations to Chanel moving on, and unfortunately Rangchu is eliminated.